Alright, we're recording. So, I know that I moments ago recorded a more lighthearted video. It was just a cover song of Emily Autumn's If I Burn, which you should also check out. Okay, done with the plug. But this is a more serious video, and I wanted to make this because it's something that I feel affects everybody, regardless of race, culture, ethnicity, sexuality, gender, just whatever society you're in, it can be something that affects you. And before I get someone being like, "Oh, you're just reading off," um, I honestly have this giant paragraph or wall of text that I did type up, yes, and I'm using it as a reference so that I can be as clear and specific as possible because I do not want to offend anyone. I don't want to stray too far from my topic, which I'm already kind of doing, I guess. So, to start with, I just want to say that I am in no way attempting to attack anybody out there with an eating disorder. I'm going to be specifically focusing on anorexia in this case, um, just because it's easier for me if I'm more specific here. And I'm not trying to target anybody who has pro-anorexia or bulimia or whatever other eating disorder sites. I'm just trying to connect to people, and if I can change or not change, but if I can help someone to think about their decisions or their actions or whatever have you, then I've already made a difference. Do I personally support or like thinspo sites? No, not at all, but hating or throwing negativity towards someone with an eating disorder is not going to change the fact that that person has an eating disorder. It's not like, oh, okay, you have an eating disorder. Guess what? That's bad. Like, is that really going to change a person? No. One thing that I'm so sick of seeing is people responding to thinspo pics. Let's say it's a picture of a girl with a pronounced thigh gap and a text box that will say, "Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels," which was made popular by Kate Moss, as we all know. And then someone will respond with a picture of a girl eating a burger and being like, "This hamburger does, eat something," or something that will only trigger people with eating disorders. While it might seem like a good idea to point out to somebody else, "Oh, you have an eating disorder," or "It's not healthy to feel this way," it's really not helping because anorexia is a psychological disorder. It's mental and having to do with anxiety, because, anorexia nervosa. Instead of the individual releasing the neurotransmitter dopamine, which is something that makes you excited about the possibility of something happening, you're going to, or sorry, if a person has anorexia, they're not going to get pleasure and excitement out of eating food. Like, that part of a person with anorexia is going to be inhibited. Only when that individual doesn't eat do they get that kind of rush or that high. So anxiety and anorexia go hand in hand. So think about this. Telling someone to just eat or get some curves is rude and just adding to their stress. There are different types of stress. Like, for instance, we have distress and eustress. Distress is unhealthy stress, and eustress is healthy stress. Guess which one anorexics experience when confronted or forced to eat something? Or when someone tells them very directly, like, "Oh, you're not eating, I can tell," or "You're thin as a rail." Guess which one they experience when they don't eat? I've known a few people with anorexia, and the worst parts about it are that, A, it's their battle and you can't fight it for them. All you can do is be there for someone with anorexia and recommend that they get help, go to a counselor, go to a group home if need be. But it's all up to them and their mindset. B, that voice in their heads, which many refer to as Anna, or sometimes when people with anorexia are talking about the fact that they have anorexia, they will kind of use code and instead say Anna. But there is this voice telling these people not to eat, and it won't die just because they're recovering. It still exists and might always exist. I have a friend who says that a part of her will always have those tendencies or will always hear that voice. So she feels anorexia in her constantly, but she makes a choice to eat and to live. And see, it can and will trigger other people around people with anorexia. Others might become anorexic as well. What I want to say to people with eating disorders, partially borrowed from posts that I've seen on Tumblr, and I know that this probably won't change anybody's mind. I mean, if a person has anorexia and they're so deep into it, at this point, maybe nothing I say will make a difference. But I just wanted to point out some very harsh realities that people will experience from anorexia, and this might help someone who isn't that far gone. But I just have a little list. So, number 1, not eating for a long period of time will cause you to become so weak that you will not be able to get up without feeling pain or exhaustion. Number 2, you will get bruises and thin, gray, dulling skin. Number 3, you will stop having periods if you have a female reproductive system, which means that you will have a harder time getting pregnant and are at risk for affecting your hormone levels. Number 4, anorexia will not affect just your relationship with food. It will strain your relationships with your family, friends, significant others, pets, just everybody. Number 5, this disorder will control your life to the point where you won't want to live and will be okay with dying. But what's the point of eating and starving till perfection if you're not even going to be around to witness that perfection? Number 6, if you are overweight with an eating disorder, your BMI might still say that you're overweight. You're not guaranteed to be thin. And this also, I want to point out to people who kind of make stereotypes about other people with eating disorders, people that might not have them themselves. You can't look at a person all the time and just know that they have anorexia. Like, a person could be overweight still, and they might be, sorry, I'm trying not to use anorexia because I know I don't want the disease to define that person, but someone might have anorexia and you just wouldn't know it just by looking at them. You can't judge a person's health just by appearance. Number 7, you will have trouble breathing, you will have trouble exercising, your lungs can collapse, you can experience heart failure, and a variety of other diseases and disorders. Number 8, not everybody can actually get a thigh gap just from losing weight, because that has to do with how your skeleton is rather than weight. Number 9, people are not going to think that you are more attractive for starving yourself. And I'm not saying this to point out or make anyone more self-conscious of themselves than they already are, but I'm saying that if you're extremely self-conscious, it's going to get worse because people will look at you in horror, people are going to judge you, and it's not right for them to judge you, but people will, and it will add to your stress. Number 10, if you abuse laxatives, you will get an inflamed colon, leading to a pregnant-looking stomach. Also, laxatives do not help you lose weight. Trust me on that. Number 11, you will be cold all the time, no matter how many layers you wear or how warm it is. Number 12, you will get ulcers and be bloated pretty regularly. 13, your bones and joints will hurt. I don't just mean hurt, like I mean it will be unbearable. Number 14, in an attempt to keep your body warm, you will naturally develop a layer of hair, because your body is like, oh, I have no fat left, so I need more body hair. And number 15, no matter how much weight you lose, you will never think that you are good enough, because you get that high from dropping weight, and that's what you'll become fixated on. There's essentially no ideal weight. All you care about is just seeing that number go down. Number 16, say goodbye to your nails. That's all I've got to say. They will fall off, they'll turn yellow, not very pretty. Number 17, you will have organ failure. Number 18, your teeth will rot and your gums will recede. Number 19, your disease will try to define you, and other people might use it to define you, which is not right, because you're an individual, and even if you do have anorexia, you deserve to be seen as an individual. But I'm telling you, realistically, it can consume you if you let it. Number 20, your social life will die and your depression will worsen. And 21, I'm sorry. See, yeah, you're all like, oh, you're reading, obviously. I just want to do this justice. But number 21, you will die, which you might say, so what to, but other people will be affected. Your parents, your siblings, your friends, your loved ones, your followers on Tumblr, your Facebook friends that you've never met in real life, people who know you at all, even if it's barely know you, they will be affected. And it's just a shame if you become another number, another statistic. Please don't let yourself fall victim. If you can, or I should say, if you're still in a mindset where you know that it's not good for you to have this, then you should seek out help. It can only, it's worth a try. You have nothing to lose at this point, and it's not easy, but I know that you can do it. Also, whoever judges you for having anorexia or tells you that you're ugly, even if you don't have it, let's say, just people who try to bring you down, they don't deserve to be in your lives, and if you can cut them out, you should do so as soon as possible, because you're beautiful and you have a right to feel beautiful regardless of what you might have, disorder, disease, whatever. I don't care. And it's so cheesy sounding, and you guys are like, whatever, stranger on the internet, but like, I love you. I care about you for what it's worth, and if anyone ever wants to talk, I'm here. But I'm not a trained psychologist. And with that said, I'm gonna stop. Okay, thank you so much. I love you. Bye!